So at this time, I call to order the agenda review meeting of the Maricopa County Community College District Governing Board of November 16, 2021. Today, we will review the agenda for the November 23, 2021 board meeting. With that, I'm going to call roll of board members, and I will start Ms. Bittersmith.
I'm here.
Thank you. Ms. McGrath.
Present.
Thank you. Dr. Narini.
Present.
Thank you. Ms. Smith.
Present.
Thank you. Dr. Thor.
Present.
Thank you. Ms. Nguyen.
Present.
And is Mr. Evans present?
I don't see that he's joined us yet today.
Okay, thank you. So for the record, I'll show that all board members are present and Mr. Evans, our student trustee, is not at this time. So the purpose of our meeting today, again, is to do our agenda review and go over the items that are for consideration next Tuesday evening. As noted on all of our agendas, we have the usual greeting and then the reports offered by various folks. With that, there's so far no indication of a citizens interim. That could change, of course, prior to the meeting. And with that, then we would move to consideration of our consent agenda. As usual, I'll read each item and see if there's comments or questions on the item, and we'll go from there. So the first item on our consent agenda would be approval of faculty emeritus distinction for Dr. Shireen Lerner. Any comments on that? So, next item would be approval of faculty emeritus discussion for Patrice Nango. Any comments? Moving on, approval of faculty emeritus distinction for Frank Antonucci. Any comments? Being none, then we'll move to the next item on the consent agenda, which would be resolution authorizing sale of general obligation refunding bonds. Is there any comment or question on item 5 on the consent agenda?
I have a question.
Yes, Mrs. McGrath.
How does this benefit the taxpayers?
Ms. Grenier, Dr. Gonzalez, do you have a comment or direction for that answer?
Good evening, President Sullivan and Board Member McGrath. I would ask Ms. Kim Granillo if she's able to respond to that. Given that she's just stepped in the role. If she's not, then we'll certainly get that answer to you right away.
Thank you, Dr. Gonzalez. I hope I can answer the question. Thank you, Mrs. Sullivan and Mrs. McGrath. So this saves the taxpayers by allowing us to refund some outstanding bonds that have a slightly higher rate on them, and we would be able to save, we estimate, somewhere between $1.5 and $3.4 million depending on the different market conditions. And this allows us to have a little bit lower debt service throughout the remaining time period on our bonds through 2027. So we would have lower secondary property tax rates in order to service those debts.
Could you give me a ballparker of how much they'll be saving?
For individual taxpayers, I can't. I could try to see if I could run those numbers for you. But in total, over the next 6 years, it would be somewhere between $1.5 and $3.4 million in interest savings.
Thank you. Appreciate the information.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you. Is there another question I might have heard looming in the background?
It got answered. Thank you very much.
Okay. Moving on then, any other comments or questions on item 5? If not, we'll move to item 6, approval of a transfer from the Maricopa County Community College Foundation of $450,000 from a grant award from the Wells Fargo Foundation for the Advancing Entrepreneurship at Maricopa Community Colleges project. The project period is from January 1, 2022 to December 31, 2022. Any comments or questions on this item? Being none, we'll move on. Item 7, approval of transfer from Maricopa Community Colleges Foundation of $747,000 from a new grant award from the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation for the Maricopa Holistic Student Data Demonstration Project. I believe that's what was presented to us by Dr. Cohn just a couple of weeks ago. So with that, any comments or questions? Being none, we'll move to item 8, approval of curriculum item. As you notice, there were 14 deletions, 9 modifications, and 25 new comments. With occupational programs, there are 10 new modifications, 6 deletions, 2, and in academic programs, there's 1 new and 1 modification, and we'll take them all in one lump sum here for questions and comments. Anyone? You are a quiet bunch today. Dr. Narini, do you have any comments or questions? This is often your area here where you comment.
Thank you. Yeah, my one comment was, I mean, we have some really great programs coming up and really timely. Do we have a plan to how we're going to promote these programs to the community?
Dr. Gonzalez?
Sure. President Sullivan, Dr. Narini, is there a program specifically that you're referring to? Is that one of the new programs that you're discussing, or one of the current ones?
I mean, there's 11 new programs, and just if we have any kind of plan to kind of promote those as new to the community.
Yeah, so let me field that question to our college presidents, specifically the ones that are adding these new programs to their college curriculum, and to see if they have any responses to your question. So if there's a college president that will own those programs that are currently in discussion, I'd like to hear your response.
Dr. Gonzalez, this is Kate Smith.
Yes.
If I can go ahead,
Please do.
I can speak to some, because we have Rio is putting forward 1 new academic program and 7 new occupational programs within this curriculum batch. And so President Sullivan, Dr. Narini, 7 of the programs that we're putting forward under occupational programs are industry specific and requested certificate programs. And so within those, we're working very closely with our industry partner, and some of them are actually closed programs. So those are being taken care of within the industry itself that we're partnering with. For the academic program, we're putting forward, it's an AA with an emphasis in community health. And so absolutely, there is a marketing plan that goes along through our marketing department with how we will promote the programs, both within the healthcare facilities as well as in general. Is that specific enough? Otherwise, I can follow up with more specific information.
No, I appreciate that. Thank you.
Are there any other comments to both the question, or are there any other comments and questions from board members?
I have a question about the welding class.
Okay, Mrs. McGrath, go ahead.
Oh, I have already turned all my pages here, so I'm not quite certain what school it's being offered at, and if it is indeed a closed class, and how popular they plan on it being. And how much do we have to pay an instructor to come in and teach welding? Because welders are making a fortune nowadays, and I wouldn't stop doing welding and go teach unless they paid me a lot.
Dr. Gonzalez, is there any board president who can answer that? I mean, either generally, not board president, college president.
Let's see, I was flipping through the curriculum and I happened to land on page 26, President Sullivan and Mrs. McGrath. That is referring to a welding program. I'm not sure if that's the one that you were referencing, but MC. So I'm assuming Mesa College may be the one that is responsible for that particular change in curriculum. Dr. Burquam, are you on and can you speak to that program?
Thank you, Chancellor Gonzalez and President Sullivan and Board Member McGrath. Yes, we have a residential faculty member actually in welding. And so our program is continuing and our focus will be, as you can see, our faculty member there is listed actually on the document. And it's a retired person from industry who has come to work with us at MCC. I hope that answers your question.
Thank you. Yes, I see it's Curtis Casey.
Yes, ma'am.
Do you have any follow-up questions for that, Mrs. McGrath?
No, I just want to make certain that we're paying them well enough because it's a very good field.
Thank you. With that then, any other comments overall on item 8, the approval of curriculum? Any other questions? There being none, we'll move to item 9, approval of expenditure of budgeted funds, which is an ongoing expense not to exceed $750,000 annually for the expanded use of Amazon Web Services, which was initially procured at the district office in late 2019. After reading our material on this, anyone have any comments or questions on this item? Being none, we'll move to item 10, approval to issue a purchase order in the amount of $324,082.56 to Air Park Signs and Graphics, Inc. to update and replace the exterior building signage at Estrella Mountain Community College. Any comments or questions on item 10?
Just a quick one. This is Mrs. Nguyen. Is this more than one sign? Is this a number of signs? Is this directional signs? Are these signs on the building? Just could we get a little bit, it may have been in the detail too. I read this a few days ago.
Dr. Gonzalez, could you direct this to Dr. Rivera?
Yes, President Sullivan, Board Member Nguyen, it does refer in the description that EMCC is proposing to complete an extensive exterior signage package, but I'll ask Dr. Rivera to add to that.
Yes, Chancellor Gonzalez, President Sullivan, and Board Member Smith, that is correct. This is part of our governing board approved renovation of our Kamaki Hall, which is our student services. And so this would be part of that redesign of labeling the exterior of the building so that students actually know where registration services are and things of that nature to make it more operational.
Thank you.
Any other comments or questions for item 10? Being none, we'll move to item 11, approval to issue a purchase order to Pueblo Mechanical and Controls in the amount of $355,248 to replace the air handling system in the A admin building at Paradise Valley Community College. Are there any comments or questions on item 11? Being none, we'll move to item 12, approval to authorize the lease of the Suite D-106 located at Rio Salado College at Southern to All Four Paws Training LLC. Any comments or questions on that? Then we'll move to item 13, approval to authorize the lease of Suite A101-104 at Rio Salado College Southern to Roastery 48 Coffee. Any comments or questions on that item? Being none, we'll move to item 14, approval of designation of individual to certify expenditure limit report. Any comments or questions? Okay, moving to item 15, approval of Blackboard Inc. contract extension for July 2021 to August 2021 in the amount of $15,560.29 for Mesa Community College. Are there any comments or questions? Being none, Yes, I heard a voice out there. Anyone else? Okay, being no more comments or questions related to our consent agenda items at the next meeting, we would then move to non-consent action items, of which at this time there are none. There'll be the first reading again, and information of employment and separation, September 18, 21 through October 22, 2021. After that, we'll move to the monitoring reports, budget analysis report fund 1. So we normally do general unrestricted fund for the 4 months ending 10/31/2021. Any comments or questions in anticipation of either of those? Being none, then we would move to governing board reports and again, establishment of our next meeting dates following the November 23 meeting. As noted on the calendar on December 7, we will have a policy committee meeting and work session with agenda review, followed by our regular board meeting on December 14. You know, I've thought that we would all be back together for November and possibly December in person, but life happens and that hasn't occurred so far. So we'll probably close out the year the same way that we started, and that is virtually. And I want to say that I'm disappointed, but it is something that we will continue to do in everyone's best interest for right now. And with that, I'm going to ask, do we have a motion to adjourn this meeting and enter into executive session? Board members.
Moved.
Mrs. Nguyen, was that you?
Yes, it was.
Okay, is there a second?
Second.
And that was Dr. Thorpe?
Ms. Bittersmith.
Oh, Ms. Bittersmith, okay, sorry. Okay, with that, there's been a motion to adjourn the meeting and move into executive session. So board members, what we'll do is we'll exit this meeting and meet on a Zoom call. That information is contained in an email or on your calendar. And to everyone else, I want to thank you for your attendance this evening. And therefore the agenda review meeting of our governing board for November 23 is now concluded and adjourned. Thank you, everyone. Board members, see you in a few minutes.